You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. Let's go beyond the box score with our regular commentator, Jackie Ray. And Jackie Ray, good evening. For the uninitiated, they may not know the name of Tyreek Hill. But for those who are in the sports know that he is arguably the best wide receiver in all the NFL. The fastest guy in the NFL, without a doubt. He's had some, I'll say, not so fantastic moments off the field, but right. what I'm getting ready to talk about with you has nothing to do with that. By now, the story is starting to explode across sports and news media about this detainment, not an arrest, this detainment of Tyreek Hill as he was driving to the stadium, literally right outside the stadium. He was pulled over by police, supposedly under the auspices of reckless driving. There is all sorts of video which has come forth, which is showing Tyreek Hill face down on the pavement, handcuffed, hands behind his back. There is a dispute as to whether there was some sort of verbal altercation leading to that. Miami-Dade police, they have already put the officer involved on administrative duty, and there's an internal affairs investigation. And I got to get all this out here before we start. No body cam footage has been released, but we know that Miami-Dade does have body cam footage. I say all that to say, from what I've seen, it doesn't look good for the police. I'm waiting for the body cam footage. Now let's listen to what Tyreek Hill had to say about it before I get to you, Jackie.
I still don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario, you know, because it's crazy. Like, I want to be a cop one day. I got a state trooper, had all that, you know, so I got a lot of respect for cops, man. But obviously, everybody has bad apples in every situation, you know, so I want to be able to, you know, use this platform, you know, to figure out a way to, like, flip this and, you know, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, you know, so that way we can team together and, you know, do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. It wasn't disrespectful, you know, because my mom didn't raise me that way, didn't cuss, didn't do none of that. So, like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I'm just glad that my teammates were there to, like, support me in that situation, because I felt alone, you know, and when they showed up, it made me realize that we got a good team this year, dog. For them to put their life on the line. You know what I'm saying? So it was amazing to see, man.
Jackie Ray, all sorts of video, all sorts of witnesses, including teammates who are also placed in handcuffs and detained. Let me get out of the way. How did you view the video?
So when I initially saw the video, I didn't know it was Tyreek Hill. I unfortunately just saw this as another, it's a typical day in America. You know, cops got a black man detained for what should be a routine traffic stop. And let me say this, and I respect what Tyreek said about, you know, I wasn't disrespectful, I didn't cuss. I don't care if he did. Because a verbal statement from somebody in a car that you're pulling over should not cause you to be excessive in your perceived authority over that person. It should not cause you to detain that person violently when it's unnecessary. And if you are the type of person who is not capable of handling escalated verbal contacts, maybe you should work at CVS, because being a police officer is not what you should be doing. But I do believe him when he says he was not verbally, you know, aggressive in any way. He might have known his rights. I know sometimes that annoys cops too when they say, hey, can we search? No, you can't. What is your probable cause? So I know that sometimes when you know your rights, so we don't know. He says he doesn't know what happened, and I believe him on that. But he's absolutely right. Like, at some point, I feel like they understood who he was, and then that probably helped de-escalate the situation. I was a little concerned because they put one officer on administrative leave. The videos that I've seen, at least from the passersby, like you said, I have not seen the body cam footage, but it wasn't just one officer. There were other officers there who, even if it was just one officer that put him face down on the concrete, they had an opportunity to turn that situation around, and they did not. So the fact that only one person is on administrative leave does bother me.
Well, this is at the beginning of the investigation. We will find out more, and we'll get those answers. So I'm going to put my anger on hold, but it's going to be at the ready. And I say that because since we know there should be body cam video, a lot of this is going to come out in the wash. In other words, we will know what was the verbal conversation which escalated to a confrontation. What I, as a lay citizen, don't understand, a civilian don't understand, how whatever was said turned into a situation where you needed to, one, remove him from the car, put him face down on the concrete and handcuff him behind his back. I've been detained before. They put me on the curb. I need some explanation as far as why he was somehow a physical, i.e. violent threat to detain him in that manner. Now, other Miami Dolphin players are going to have their statements taken as well, because some were also placed in handcuffs. The public story is that they were interfering or trying to intervene with the arrest. Again,
I'm sure they were.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm also going to wait for the body cam video. I'm trying to be fair, but I'm saying what I saw on video and how they took him down to the ground leaves me with a lot of questions that I think deservedly need answers.
I've said this before. A lot of people think the Black Lives Matter movement was about completely doing away with police. That's not the case. I do think we need to completely do away with police as it stands right now, because I think as it stands right now, it is a faulty organization at best. And so to expect people to not know the history of this country, know the history of Black men in this situation, and to think that they're not going to somehow intervene, and then now you put them in a similar situation, like Tyreek said, they put their lives in jeopardy. You have to understand that this is because of you. You have perpetuated this moment where people understand that they are not safe in your presence. So you can't get upset when they want to protect somebody who is not safe in your presence. And I respect Tyreek saying he wants to turn this thing around. How? How many hashtags have we had? How many people have we marched for? Nothing has turned around. I don't know how he thinks he's going to be the caveat to turn. I respect it, but how?
Well, here's the thing that I think that needs to be highlighted. And people may not know who Tyreek Hill is, but Tyreek has always been very, very pro-police. So it's not like he's just saying something because he has this negative view of law enforcement. Now, this is me talking. There is a historical, I'll say, disconnect with understanding how the first point of contact usually goes with law enforcement and African-American men. I don't want to assume what was on the mind of police, but I know the optic of this black man in this Lamborghini probably set the stage for something that wasn't a normal traffic stop interaction. He was cited for quote unquote reckless driving. I haven't seen the lead up to it. I don't know. He might have been reckless driving. I honestly don't know.
It's a Lamborghini. He was at least probably speeding.
Probably. But it should have been a ticket and go on about your way. And that's why I want to see the body cam video, because I need to hear what Tyreek Hill said, which says we have probable cause to search your car and to put you face down on the pavement in front of public view. So they're trying to embarrass him. That's what they're trying to do with his hands behind his back. And I want to caution people, there's more that's going to come out, but from what I know, from what I see, and what other people have said that they saw in that moment, even Drew Rosenhaus, his agent, was saying like, this looks really bad. Yes, I know it's his agent, but I'm saying, the Miami Dolphins have gotten involved. Right. And they have their own video from the stadium. So, I mean, we don't have to guess about this. This is going to be resolved, and it's not going to be pretty. But all I'm saying is it's fair. I think it's fair to look at this through a particular lens, given the disproportionate level of force which was used. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. You should be able to say, thank you, officer, for my ticket, show up in court or pay the ticket and be on your way. This should not have happened like this. And
I've known too many people to get mouthy with police, and let's say that was the case, and then not end up face down on the pavement with their hands behind their back, handcuffed, broad daylight for everyone to see. If mouthiness, and that's if that happened, if mouthiness was the key, well, then policing should be very different for everyone. That's all I'm saying.
I've had it on the flip side. I have a little baggie in my car that has my license, registration, proof of insurance in it. I'm not having conversation. That has been a problem. That's been a problem. When people, where are you going? I don't have to say that. That's been a problem. And so where's the win in that? You know what I mean? If I have a conversation with you, but I say something you don't like, there's a problem. If I don't say anything at all, there's a problem. So where's the win?
We're going to find out if there is one in a moment. It's Later with Mo Kelly. When we come back, we're going to stay in this NFL lane. Kendrick Lamar has been chosen to, in some stories, be the Super Bowl halftime guest. And another story said be the headlining act. We're going to find out what the truth is when we come back. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Rapper Kendrick Lamar is now the halftime show artist for the upcoming Super Bowl in February of 2025. When I saw the news, Jackie Ray, I was kind of taken back. I was like, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, but you know, if you use history as a guide, it's usually reserved for household names, world famous. Kendrick Lamar is very famous. He's not a household name. He's not world famous. And we saw like the West Coast hip hop halftime show. I thought that he would be more of like that. Right. I've seen stories where he's the headlining guest, which says, okay, they're going to have like 4 or 5 other people join him. And I've seen stories where he's like the sole guest, the only one. What do you think about this announcement? And do you think that there are any underlying, I'll say, hip hop politics, given that Jay-Z probably made this decision?
Yeah, Jay-Z definitely made this decision, and I know he's a fan of Kendrick Lamar. I definitely think Kendrick Lamar will probably end up being the headliner. I don't think he will be the only person performing during the halftime. But Kendrick Lamar is world famous if you are a hip hop head. If you are not in hip hop, I'm telling you right now, there are people in Japan, China, Korea that are singing "They Not Like Us" right now, word for word.
But there are people listening to the station right now who have no idea who he is.
No idea. No, they are Googling him as, hopefully you're not driving, but other people are Googling him as we speak. So hip hop is definitely a culture. And when you're talking about the culture of hip hop, Kendrick Lamar is definitely one of the icons in that. It'll be interesting to see because, to your point, that's typically been what we've seen as far as the stage for the Super Bowl is we've seen Dr. Dre is world renowned, Snoop Dogg, world renowned. So yes, they're hip hop heads, but they're hip hop heads that people, even if you don't listen to hip hop, you know who they are.
But they were joined on the stage by 50 Cent and others.
Yes. So I'm thinking in this, there's going to be something similar to that. Even they brought out Mary J. Blige. That's a big deal because now you're pulling in the people who like R&B. So hip hop is a very specific cult-like culture, and I love that they're trying to kind of get that out to the masses more. But when you're talking about, let's not forget the reason why the halftime show even exists is because the Super Bowl was mad that Living Colour stole they audience for that
during the halftime show. That's right.
Right. So
people don't know the history.
Right. So the goal is to not have people leave the set and to keep watching. So you can't just have Kendrick Lamar. You have to be able to appeal to people who might not be as invested in hip hop or don't know him as a hip hop artist. So I don't in any way believe that he is going to be the only one.
Any chance that Drake may show up on stage with him?
Now listen, I would pay the $5,000 to see that in person.
But think about what that would do for ratings.
That would be amazing. If I was Drake and I was on his team, I would advise no, because in that case, it has to be some sort of battle, and you could give him every weapon in the arsenal, and he's not going to win that battle. So I would not put him in that stage.
And I was wrong for doing that. For people who don't know, Drake, who most people know, I would think more people know who Drake is as opposed to Kendrick Lamar. And Kendrick Lamar have had a long, what they call rap beef, where they've gone back and forth with diss tracks, disrespecting each other, insulting each other. And it has been the talk of the hip hop community for the better part of 6 months now. And I'm saying, wouldn't that be something if they both showed up on stage at the same time? Since we're only talking about ratings, not reality.
People forget rap and hip hop are not the same thing. Drake is a rapper, which means he kind of embodies this persona. He has no real life experience behind his lyrics. Word on the street, he has a ton of ghostwriters. Kendrick Lamar is entrenched in the culture. He grew up in the culture. He is part of hip hop. So they're two different artists, which is why I don't see them ever being on stage at the same time, especially with this beef that Drake has no chance of winning. But if the Super Bowl and Jay-Z was smart, I would at least leak that it's a possibility. Even if it doesn't happen,
people would tune in just to find out.
Absolutely.
Now, let me just ask you, switching gears, Caitlin Clark, she's now, and I don't know if it's deservedly so, but she's now in the MVP conversation. She has turned around the Indiana Fever. They're in a playoff position at the moment. What do you make of that banter?
It's unwarranted. I think her, calling her the Rookie of the Year is great, but the Rookie of the Year and the MVP, she does not have the accolades, the history of someone who deserves that status. I think it's, I get it. She brought with her a ton of fans. If you're going to go into a fight, bring your people with you. So I'm not mad at her having these accolades. I understand why it is like that. Her fans are relentless and they are devoted and die hard. So thankfully, it's not, that kind of voting is not up to the fans. It's media journalists that typically do that. But at the same time, media has kind of cultivated this war between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark that they have both admitted it doesn't exist. So if you're talking about media, it could potentially go either way. But I think true WNBA voters know A'ja Wilson is hands down the MVP. It's not even a question.
She's having one of the best seasons ever.
Absolutely. And shout out real quick, I'm going to vote De'Arica Hamby, LA Sparks, even though they have the worst record in the league. Most improved player of the year.
10 seconds. Since they have the worst record, they're going to have the first pick. Is it Paige Beckers?
I'm still trying to figure that out simply because of the expansion team. So I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
The expansion team has to have access to players. I don't know how that's going to work in the draft. I still have to figure that out. So when I know, I'll let you know.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. Jackie Ray, thanks so much for always coming on.
Thank you.
Oh, Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And when you're in radio, you usually spend your time flipping through your phone, looking for different stories, things to talk about. And every once in a while, a story that is not about anything, it's not topical, it's not timely, but it just jumps out at you and it's like, this is interesting. This is one of those moments. And this is for the guys. We're going to have a heart-to-heart. I know some ladies called in on Friday night and they said, I don't know about when you guys start talking about guy things. Well, this is going to include the ladies as well. We're going to have a guy moment, but it's going to include the ladies. And I found this article on BuzzFeed, and it was saying men are sharing how they know when it's time to leave a serious relationship. And I was running down this list and I said, oh, these are all unmarried people. These are all unmarried people. Here's what I mean. Elmer, you've been married before, but I don't know how long you've been married. Mark, you haven't been married, but you long-term relationship. Neither of you are going anywhere.
Nobody wants to marry my student loan.
Okay. And 12 Sharp, you have been married, so you probably know where I'm going with this. These are some of the reasons that men are listing when they know it's time to leave a serious relationship. Me, this is like every day of marriage. But hear me out. Okay. And this is like they called answers from people on Reddit. That's mistake number one. You can't take it so seriously. But there is some truth to this. First answer was given was when men know when it's time to leave a serious relationship. Quote, I asked myself if I could be happy with this person forever. Am I waiting for them to change? If I wait for them to change, I'm relying on something I can't control. I'll become resentful, and they'll resent my attempts to change them. At that point, I leave. They can change or not, but I am in control of my happiness. I can look for someone who makes me happy, close quote. See, that's a single person.
Yeah.
You've obviously never been married a day in your life. Number two, quote, daydreaming about being single and how less stressed you'd be, close quote. See. Anyone who's married is like just laughing at this, like, yeah, okay, yeah, just wait till you get married. Number three, if you prefer to be alone rather than in her or his company, it's time. No, that's Tuesday when you're married. Finally, you got one right. I love it. Here we go, Chihuahua. I'll just look at you when I say this one. Number four, when the thought of seeing them, her or him, brings you more dread than joy, it's time to move on. You single folk kill me.
Lord have mercy.
Here's the biggest difference. And my single friends, my married friends told me this when I was getting married. They said, look, when you argue, the difference between married and being single is simple. When you're single, you can think about leaving. You can go just stomp out of the house and, go to your friends or something and tell them to go to hell. When you're married, you just go to another room in the house.
Yeah.
Because you're not going anywhere. You can be mad. You just need to go somewhere and pout for an hour or two, but you're not leaving. That's the
run an
difference.
errand.
Right. Go run an errand. But your ass is coming back.
I'd run to the grocery store.
Right.
Come back.
You know why? Because you've been married. You understand. Okay. Number 5. And this is true. Oh my goodness, this is true. Quote, when you're driving home from work, do you ever say to yourself, maybe I should take the long way so I can enjoy a few more minutes of peace before I get home and get the wrath? That's not when you feel it's time to leave the relationship. That's Wednesday.
That is actually when you're married.
Yes. Before I step my ass in this house, let me take a few more moments in the garage. Maybe I should close the garage door and keep the car running. Breathe in some more carbon monoxide. Get a little more lightheaded. Maybe pass out even. Oh. Number 6. Quote, when you are not respected and either side does not give the relationship priority. You're single. You're single. You're worried about the wrong damn things. Yeah. Number 7. When you're questioning while you're still in it, it may be about the same time you find yourself asking, where did the person I was dating go? See, that's year 1 of marriage.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Year 1, you start saying,
Year 1.
Wait. So you do this all the
So
time?
I'm just like, wait a minute.
I didn't know this about you.
Obviously, you don't live with that person. So you don't get to know their living habits and bathroom habits and all that kind of stuff. You get to really know a person. It's like, ooh. You go from that to that? Oh, that's some magical stuff. Wait, what? That's how you get into bed? That's how you look in the morning? That's how your breath smells? Ooh.
You stink.
Ooh. Go take a shower, please. No, that's not a joke. That's real.
That's very real.
That's real life. That's real life. That's the difference between infatuation and love. Because you get,
that first married gas from under the blanket. You're like, damn,
and it ripples the blanket.
Yeah.
She hot boxes you.
That's you. No,
that was you.
No,
that was you.
Me.
And they want to play like they did it in their sleep. No, you were awake. You were awake. We all heard that.
Get your butt out the bed.
Look, I got some Gas X in the medicine cabinet. I know, I'm gonna be divorced before this show's over. Okay. Number 8. I would also say that sometimes people just come into our lives to teach us something. Once the lesson ends, you feel stuck repeating the same patterns, and it's time to move on to the next lesson. Single person.
They're kind of crazy.
Single person.
And Mark, you're awfully quiet.
Yeah, my mic's been shut off.
You're awfully quiet.
I have nothing to gain by contributing to this. Nothing at all.
Number 9 is, quote, when your effort no longer matters. Oh, year 4. Year 4. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, and this is something else. And I learned, because I learned a lot from married people preparing me. They said marriage is not 50-50. That's a lie. Sometimes it's 80-20 you. Sometimes it's 70-30 her. Sometimes it's 100-0. Yeah. And you will find, hopefully, the balance over the totality of your years together. But it's not like 50-50 each step of the way. That's a lie that I had bought into when I was a single man. No, it should be a 50-50 relationship. It's not ever 50-50. There's some months where she's pulling all the weight emotionally because I may be tied up in my job or something, or I'm not focusing as much on the home life. And there's some times where I'm pulling all of the weight emotionally.
What are these emotions you speak of?
Well,
yeah, see, already, I'm shutting the mic back
yes.
off.
Yeah, I was about to say, you going to wade into it with that?
Yeah. No. Big mistake. I retract all of that.
You don't have to worry because they don't listen to our show.
True.
It's true.
No, but see, here's the thing.
Their
the
friends
long-suffering one actually does, because she posts about it.
No, well, she knows what we talk about, but she may not know, from corner to corner what is said in the show.
I don't know.
My problem is my wife's friends and coworkers listen to the show. So anything I say, they run back and say, "Did you hear? Oh, do you allow him to talk like that? Did you give him permission to say that? Oh my God,
it's great for a relationship. It really is.
I was shocked. I know you would be. You heard it right. Expecting her to say either, no, I didn't hear it, or yes, I did and I didn't care, because they want to see some sort of reaction out of her. And she's used to it. And if it's not that, it's like, oh, did you hear what they said about Kendrick Lamar? What? Did he say that at home too? Is that an act? Oh no, it's all the time. It's all the time. So it got to the point where she says, well, why don't you just ask him? It's like, well, you live with him. It's like, no, but you listen to him. I don't listen to him. Lord. No, true story. And so I try to keep my professional life separate from her professional life. I don't talk to her about what I talked about for the sake of her coworkers. Her coworkers are going to say whatever they're going to say.
I think this list is really, really misleading, and the men who contributed to this should have been very, very clear on their status in life, and they shouldn't put this out as just general advice.
Relationships. Yeah, marriage and single life. When I say single life, is in you are unmarried. If you're unmarried, you're single. You may be tied to someone, Mark Ronner, but you have, if you wanted to, even though it may be painful, even though it may be cumbersome, and you have to untangle your lives, you can leave without getting any lawyers involved.
Generally, yeah, and that's all I'm going to say.
What does she have on you?
I beg you to keep me the hell out of this.
I mean, is it like a picture? Is it hidden in the corner and she can stab the picture? Is it like I don't what?
Well, she does have access to my vintage comics while I'm away at work.
Okay, all right. There's extortion, possibly.
I mean, I could come home to a pile of vintage comic book ashes.
No, God, please, no.
Has she ever dangled them out the window?
No. I mean, that's like a deal breaker right there. You
would leave then?
Yeah, that's an emergency break glass material right there. She's never done that.
Okay. All right.
This is so good.
I'm just asking.
I love this.
Yeah, whose idea was this segment? This is not.
Are you somewhat uncomfortable?
No, I'm fine. But we are up against the clock. We really have to go to news.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. That was a perfect lead into horoscopes. When we come back, the perfect exercise for you according to your astrology sign. That's next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's find out the perfect exercise for you according to your astrology sign. Aries, your perfect exercise is boxing, which is a boon to body and spirit for Mars in Aries. Mars, it at home in Aries and able to fully flex its might. You guys are intense, therefore you need intense workouts, high intensity interval training, HIIT trainings they call it, cardio, weightlifting, strength training, anything to make you feel powerful and strong. Anything fast-paced that allows these hotheads to channel their anger, aggression, and excess energy is beneficial to both mind and body. Boxing is a natural fit for this sign, as is anything that incorporates challenge and competition. Taurus, Pilates in the park is a perfect way for Mars in Taurus to get a burn in under an open sky. Fresh air and endurance training for those whose Mars falls in the bucolic earth sign of Taurus. Taurus is a sign that loves grounding and connecting to nature. You really want to be doing exercises that emphasize endurance, strength, and connection to the earth. Gemini, Mark.
Let's have it.
Rollerblading.
Of course.
Rollerblading gives Gemini, Mars freedom and variety.
With some Lycra shorts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Okay. Is there another kind?
Pack.
No, please continue. Please.
And a fanny pack.
Mental stimulation, social interaction, and a heavy dose of variety for those whose Mars falls in loquacious Gemini. Good exercises for this Mars sign include circuit training and group workout classes in a more social setting like Zumba, kickboxing, I think they meant Zumba, kickboxing, pole dancing, or spin. Join a tennis team, join a racquetball team. You really want to focus on fun and what lights you up. Another solid outlet via unstable footing, rollerblading.
Of course.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been like pickleball.
Well, and working the pole, of course.
Well, it did say pole dancing. Yeah. Cancer, water for water, Cancer Mars, find support and release in swimming. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, meaning the planet has difficulty expressing itself. To honor this, lead with gentle movement. You don't want to be doing anything high intensity. Pilates and yoga are amazing for you. Work out at home is perfect for you guys. Tai Chi will also work for this Mars sign as you're able to have that fluid balance and also that gentle emotional balance that resonates perfectly with Cancer's energy. Leo? Well, Leo Mars was born to play ball. These big cats are essentially big kids. Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun represents your inner child. So doing exercises that make your inner child happy is going to benefit you so much. This Mars sign taps into what they loved to do when they were kiddos, be it climbing trees or kicking ass at kickball. Leo is also the sign of high drama, grand gestures, and performance art, making dance and boxing beautiful avenues for self-expression through physical activity. Virgo, you're up next. Virgo Mars delights in measurable results. Virgo is a very detail-oriented, very precise, very health-conscious sign. Fitness focusing on proper form, perfect alignment, and buildable flexibility is especially beneficial. So yoga is perfect for you Virgos. Virgo Mars needs to monitor their fitness progress with a tracker app or device, as organization is erotically satisfying to this sign. Okay, Virgo, get your Fitbit on. Libra, this is for you, Elmer. As the sign of partnership, Mars and Libra natives benefit from having a pal to sweat with. For those with Mars and Libra, balance is the name of the game and the grind. Libra is the scales, right? You want a balanced workout split for your routine throughout your week. For example, weightlifting one day, walking 10,000 steps the other day, and taking different classes. Talking about balance, Libra is an air sign. There needs to be a focus on both variety and consistency because Libra is the sign of partnership. Group workouts and couple workouts are an excellent fit. And in fits of a different variety, Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and aesthetics. So those with their Mars here will do well to look good for their workouts. Look hot while you get even hotter, folks. Twala, Scorpio, here you go.
Let's go.
Scorpio rules the 8th house of sexuality, and this Mars sign flourishes in erotic influence exercise practices. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. And this Mars sign is marked by intensity and an intense need for challenge. Martial arts like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and Taekwondo, as well as a boxing practice where you can think of their ex while beating the ish out of a punching bag. Because Scorpio rules the 8th house of sexuality, erotic tinge workouts like pole dancing and striptease aerobics are especially well suited for this Mars sign. Yes, striptease aerobics.
A lot of pole dancing in these things.
Muay Thai and pole dancing.
So you get a pole and Mark gets a pole. All right, you guys are made for each other.
Poles all around.
A lot of poles.
Sagittarius, that would be me. Represented by the mythical centaur. Horseback riding is a perfect way for archers to flex their Martian might.
Wait, you go horseback riding?
That's what they're recommending.
Okay.
Haven't been on a horse in at least 40 years. For those who Mars falls in the sign of Sagittarius, you want to be doing exercises and workouts that align with a sense of adventure, spontaneity, and freedom. Enroll in ClassPass to ensure they always have access to the new and the novel. Sag folk is a sign symbolized by the half equine, half human centaur, making horseback riding a perfect fit. You couldn't pay me to get on a horse at this point.
I could see you on a horse, though.
Yeah, look.
Next cruise, when you go on this shore excursion, horseback riding.
No, because I will fall off a horse and bust my ass. No.
Can we get an AI to make a Mo Centaur picture?
Yeah, I'm quite sure you could.
Yes.
Quite sure you could.
No pole for Mo, huh?
No.
It's implied. The pole is implied.
No, it isn't. Capricorn, symbolized by the goat, rock climbing is on brand for Capricorn Mars. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, the sign of dedication and gains. A challenging discipline practice that yields measurable results will feed the fitness fire for this Mars sign. Strength training is going to be huge for you. You need to have a structured weightlifting routine or program that you're into. Rock climbing is a natural fit for a sign symbolized by the ever-striving, keep-on-climbing sea goat. It gives you that physical challenge coupled with strategic planning and overcoming obstacles. Aquarius, we finally got here, and I did not see this in advance. Pickleball is both niche and collaborative, two tenets of the Aquarius spirit. And Aquarius Mars is oxygenated by innovation and social engagement, making niche workouts and group fitness classes a wonderful fit. Join a pickleball team or take up running. The latter can be leveraged into charitable pursuits, issue awareness, supportive causes, and fundraising. You know what I mean. All of which speak to the water bearer's humanitarian spirit. Variety is key for this Mars sign, as they tend to get bored of doing just one thing. Pisces. The fluidity of ballet suits the temperament of this Mars sign. Pisces is synonymous with spirituality and intuition. In kind and in tune, those with this Mars placement incorporate meditation, subliminals, and high vibrational frequencies into their workouts. Exercise practices that benefit Pisces Mars include anything that engages both the body and the mind. Dance, particularly the fluid movements of ballet, reflect this water sign's boundless connective nature. Pisces Mars peeps sometimes struggle to express rather than repress their anger, making martial arts a truly healing experience for them. How is it I didn't get martial arts?
Because you like riding horses. That's what your sign is.
Are
You're
you
a
saying
centaur?
Are you saying like with a saddle or bare? Never mind.
Yeah, bareback.
We're just gonna let that hang out there,
So to speak. All right.
Hanging out there. Yep.
Yep. Okay, look at the time. KFI AM 640. We are live everywhere. The iHeartRadio app.
No axes to grind here. What do you think we are, lumberjacks? How do you even grind an axe anyway?
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.